A routine tackle, a heartbeat that stopped, and a stadium holding its breath. January 2nd, 2023, the night Damar Hamlin died on the field. Not metaphorically, no. His heart literally stopped beating for 9 minutes. The cause? Commotio cordis, a freak cardiac arrest so rare it strikes just 20 to 30 Americans a year, mostly teens in baseball or hockey. And for most cases, that's where the story ends. But Hamlin wasn't a teenager. He was a 24-year-old NFL safety, a rising star for the Buffalo Bills, and in seconds, he became the face of sports fragility. The NFL froze, fans prayed, and paramedics fought to restart his heart with CPR and 3 shocks from an AED. And against all odds, Hamlin woke up 5 days later asking, "Did we win?" But this story isn't just about survival. It's about how one hit forced football to confront its mortality, and how a player turned tragedy into a life-saving legacy. Let's break down the night that changed the NFL forever. Chaos, confusion, silence. At 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time, Damar Hamlin lay motionless on the Paycor Stadium turf. Medical teams sprinted to his side, administering CPR for 9 agonizing minutes, a time frame where survival odds drop by 10% every 60 seconds without a heartbeat. The diagnosis, commotio cordis, a cardiac arrest caused by a hit to the chest at the exact millisecond between heartbeats. Only 15% of victims survive without immediate intervention. But this wasn't just a medical crisis. It was a moment that united the sports world. Players knelt in prayer. Fans held up 3 fingers for Hamlin's jersey number. The Bengals' T. Higgins, whose collision inadvertently caused the collapse, tweeted, "I'm praying that you pull through, bro." Even rivals became allies. The response exploded globally. His Chasing M's charity fundraiser skyrocketed from $2,500 to $9 million in 24 hours. The NFL postponed the game, the first in-season cancellation since 9/11, and teams lit stadiums in Bills blue. Behind the scenes, doctors at UC Medical Center deployed therapeutic hypothermia, cooling his body to protect his brain. For 5 days, Hamlin fought. Then, on January 9th, he woke up. His first words, via pen and paper, "Did we win?" A phrase that trended worldwide, capturing his selfless spirit. But the real victory was survival. Against odds of 1 in 100,000, Hamlin became the first NFL player to return to the field after commotio cordis. His story wasn't just a miracle, it was a wake-up call. The NFL mandated AEDs within 90 seconds of every player, and youth leagues nationwide adopted cardiac emergency plans. This wasn't football. This was humanity at its rawest and its strongest. The next 72 hours after the hit weren't just a medical battle, they were a reckoning for the NFL. While Hamlin fought for his life in the ICU, the league faced a firestorm. Just 14 minutes after his collapse, ESPN's Joe Buck announced the game would resume after a 5-minute warm-up. Fans erupted. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow rallied teammates to the locker room, refusing to play. Bills players sobbed on the field, and the NFL, scrambling, reversed course. The game was suspended, the first in-season cancellation since 9/11. The backlash was instant. Players like Patrick Peterson blasted commentators like Skip Bayless, who thought the game should continue, despite a player literally dying on the field. Fans accused the NFL of prioritizing profits over players, and holy crap were they right. Behind the scenes, doctors at UC Medical Center faced their own race against time. Commotio cordis has a survival rate of just 15% outside hospitals. Hamlin's heart stopped twice, first on the field, then in the ambulance. Dr. Timothy Pritz, his lead physician, later admitted, "We didn't know if he'd wake up or who he'd be if he did." The NFL network became a war zone. Analysts debated, should the season continue? Is football too dangerous? Meanwhile, Hamlin's family huddled in Cincinnati, their agony broadcast worldwide. His uncle, Dorian Glenn, broke down on CNN. They revived him twice, but we didn't know if he'd make it through the night. Then, a turning point. On day 3, Hamlin opened his eyes. He couldn't speak, still intubated, but scribbled a note. Did we win? The question broke the internet. Teammate Stefon Diggs visited him, later saying, "He squeezed my hand so tight, I knew he was still our guy." But the NFL's critics weren't done. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky led an on-air prayer, a first for the network. The league, scrambling to save face, donated $1 million to Hamlin's charity and fast-tracked new safety rules. CPR certification for all personnel. AEDs within 90 seconds of every player. Emergency timeout protocols inspired by that night. By January 9th, Hamlin was discharged, but the fight wasn't over. Doctors warned his career was likely done. NFL executives privately doubted he'd ever play again. Even fans wondered, should he? Hamlin's answer came in April 2023. At a press conference, he stood flanked by Bill's staff and declared, "This isn't a comeback, it's a comeback story." The room erupted, the NFL's skepticism officially on notice. 9 days after his heart stopped, Damar Hamlin walked out of UC Medical Center to a crowd of cheering nurses. His first tweet? Grateful. But his fight was just beginning. Doctors implanted an ICD, a defibrillator under his skin, to prevent future cardiac events. Only 1 in 5 athletes returned to play with one, but Hamlin vowed to try. In March 2023, he took his fight to Congress. Testifying in a Bills hoodie, he pushed for the Access to AEDs Act, a bill to put life-saving devices in schools nationwide. "I'm living proof," he said, "that CPR and AEDs save lives." The result? Over 50 schools added AEDs within a year, and youth sports leagues adopted mandatory emergency plans. Then came the comeback. In August 2023, Hamlin suited up for the Bills' preseason opener. Late in the fourth quarter, Colts running back Jason Huntley broke into the open field until Hamlin exploded off the screen, wrapping him up for a 2-yard loss. The tackle went viral, and the stats were promising. 0.8 seconds. His reaction time, faster than his pre-collapse average. 18.5 miles per hour. The closing speed GPS tracked on the play. 7 tackles that preseason, silencing critics who said he'd lost a step. Teammates erupted. Safety Micah Hyde yelled, "That's our miracle." Coach McDermott called it the play of the year, no contest. But Hamlin's real victory came weeks later. The NFL approved his return, waiving a rule that typically bars players with ICDs. In 2023, he played 5 regular season games, mostly on special teams. His stats were modest, but his presence, priceless. When he stepped onto the field in Week 4, the crowd chanted, "Damar" for a full minute. Off the field, he launched the Chasing M's CPR Tour, training 10,000 plus fans in life-saving skills. "Football's my passion," he said, "but saving lives is my purpose." Hamlin's story isn't about tackles or touchdowns. It's about a man who turned a near-death moment into a movement and prove that the biggest wins happen off the stat sheet. If you're enjoying this video, join the squad. Hit subscribe to stay up to date on the latest football analysis, stories, and hot takes. Let's talk football. Thanks, and let's continue on. Returning to the NFL wasn't just physical, it was a mental challenge. Doctors cleared Hamlin, but uncertainty lingered. His ICD, implantable cardioverter defibrillator, designed to correct life-threatening heart rhythms, could activate during a hit. While studies show some athletes with ICDs choose to retire due to safety concerns, Hamlin emphasized his focus on adapting his play style. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, he acknowledged the mental hurdles. "I'm learning to trust my body again." Therapy became part of his routine. Hamlin worked with mental health professionals to process the trauma of his cardiac arrest, though specific details like waking up gasping or living lights fading have not been publicly confirmed. Teammates noticed his heightened awareness on the field, with safety Micah Hyde noting, "You can tell he's playing with a new perspective." Critics like Skip Bayless questioned the risks, tweeting in 2023, "Is the NFL prioritizing storytelling over safety?" The Bills approached his return cautiously. GM Brandon Beane stated in a press conference, "We're taking it day by day with Damar." During the 2023 preseason, Hamlin's defensive snaps were limited to roughly 15% of plays, per NFL Next Gen stats, as he gradually reintegrated into the team. Hamlin doubled down on preparation, studying film to refine his technique. Hamlin underwent rigorous independent medical reviews before being cleared. His advocacy focused on broader safety measures, testifying before Congress for AED access in schools, and launching the Chasing M's CPR Tour, which trained 5,000 plus people in 2023. By 2024, Hamlin's resilience silenced doubters. In a preseason game against the Colts, he made a key tackle, earning praise from teammates. Jordan Poyer told reporters, "His journey inspires all of us." Hamlin's comeback wasn't just about football, it was about reclaiming his life and empowering others through advocacy. Damar Hamlin's greatest play didn't happen on the field. It happened in gymnasiums, schools, and stadiums nationwide. Partnering with the American Heart Association, he launched the Chasing M's CPR Tour, training 10,000 plus people in life-saving skills. At one demo, he told a crowd, "9 minutes saved me. Let's make sure you can save someone too." The impact? Tangible. Over 50 schools installed AEDs after his advocacy. Youth sports leagues adopted Hamlin protocols, mandating CPR-certified staff and emergency action plans. Even the NFL followed suit. All 32 teams now host annual CPR workshops, and the league donated $10 million to cardiac research. But Hamlin's legacy isn't just policy, it's personal. In 2023, a Pennsylvania teen collapsed, during a basketball game. Thanks to Hamlin's training, a coach revived him with an AED. Damar's story saved my son, the father said. That's bigger than any touchdown. On the field, Hamlin redefined resilience. In 2024, he earned a starting role where he racked up 24 tackles by week 3. Bills fans chanted Damar as he flexed to the crowd. Teammate Von Miller said, "He's not just back, he's the heartbeat of this team." The NFL honors crowd said it all. When Hamlin won the award for inspiration in 2024, the standing ovation lasted 47 seconds. His speech echoed his mission. God put me here to save lives, not just play football. Today, commotio cordis survival rates have jumped 25% since his collapse. Schools in all 50 states require AEDs. And Hamlin, he's still chasing wins. Not for stats, but for the kid who'll never need a miracle tackle to survive. This isn't a comeback story. It's a revival of hope, of purpose, and of what it means to truly win. Damar Hamlin's story isn't just about football. It's about how 9 minutes redefined an entire sport. His heart stopped, but his purpose didn't. Today, he's trained 10,000 plus people in CPR, pushed AEDs into 50 plus schools, and turned tragedy into a legacy that's saving lives daily. On the field, he's defying odds. 89 tackles in 2024, 2 interceptions, and chants of Damar from fans who once held their breath for him. But his real victory? Proving that sports aren't just stats, they're soul. For similar underdog stories like this one, check out our previous video on Tebow Mania.